Hello, Geneva, and welcome to Geneva Works. I'm your host, Kevin Starr. The Geneva Police Department is always prepared for the worst-case scenario. However, would you know what to do if someone brought a gun to your place of work? Today, we're joined by Sergeant Eli Rivera, who will share important safety tips about violence in the workplace.
Workplace violence is any violent act against an individual or group of individuals at the workplace or while they're on duty. Yes, while statistics do show that there's no specific type of individual or group of individuals that commit such a heinous act, statistics do show some commonalities of behaviors among those individuals who do commit these types of acts, such as under the influence of alcohol or illegal drugs, angry or argumentative behavior, consistently blaming others for their own problems, failing to take responsibility for own actions or words, and everyone is against me attitude. Also, anyone talking about committing suicide. You will see that you will notice, or if you notice that they're putting everything in order, making mention of someone who has committed suicide and them believing that, thinking that they want to do the same, also might be a cue for you to lock in on. Although you will not be able to in most cases, not stop the incident from occurring, you certainly can prepare yourself to survive such an incident, or at least deal with it. We call that situational awareness, being aware of your surroundings at all times, even if it's seconds before the actual act occurs, can save your life and that of your coworkers. Having a survival mindset, which is the one, it's basically being able to surround yourself with an imaginary protective force. That mindset or that concept is comprised of three different components or concepts. The first one being awareness, the second one being preparation, and the third one being rehearsal. To be more specific about the concept, awareness being the first concept of the system. Be aware of your environment and any possible dangers, and take note of the two nearest exits in any facility that you visit. The second one being preparation. Survivors prepare themselves both mentally and emotionally to do whatever it takes to survive. This is extremely important. You have to have that mindset in order for you to survive such an attack. You're going to have to just tell yourself, I'm not going to die today. Rehearse. Mentally and physically practice your plan. Rehearsing your plan will reduce your response time and build confidence. This may be by physically getting up and going through the motions of what you would do in such an event. Also, rehearsing it in your mind. What would I do if this individual enters the building at this point? Which way would I run? Who would I call? What would I take with me? And so forth. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI have suggested that adopting the concept of run, hide, and fight will be the one that you most likely will have, or you'll have the higher rate of survival during such an incident. First, we start off with getting out of the building, so running. Move quickly, don't wait for others to validate your decision, and leave belongings behind. Waiting for others to validate your decision is extremely important because you may get caught up with someone not wanting to go with you. You have to disregard that, you have to save your life first, and you have to leave the building as quickly as possible. Once you're out of the building, call out. Call 911 and tell them the name of the shooter, if you know that. Give them the shooter's description, the location, the number of shooters, and the type of weapons that they're using, that being a rifle, handgun, knife, etc. The next part of it is you're going to hide. If you're not able to run from the building, let's just say the individual is between you and the exit, you have to find a way for you to protect yourself, and that's going to be by choosing a well-hidden and well-protected area, and avoid places that might trap you or restrict your movement. So find somewhere where you can hide away from the individual and stay out of sight. Once you're inside that room, whatever that may be, turn out the lights, turn off computers, close down the blinds, shut off your phones. Anything that will produce any type of noise, make sure that or anything that will draw his attention to where you're at, you need to find a way to seize it so that he can disregard that location. Also call 911. If you can't do so if you can do so without alerting, definitely call them. We're lucky enough that in the Tri-City areas, you can actually text 911. The process will go, once you text 911, TRICOM is going to try to attempt to call you back, obviously, and hopefully your phone will be on vibrate. So once they cannot get a hold of you, what they will do is they'll dispatch officers automatically to respond to the scene to see what's going on. If you're in a room with several other people, go ahead and spread out. Don't bunch up in one specific area. Don't huddle together. This is going to make it harder for the shooter. If you're all dispersed throughout a room, he's going to have to draw his attention to different points of the room. Therefore, he's going to be very distracted as he enters the room. Lastly, and we recommend this as being the last resort. You may encounter, you may find yourself having to deal with the assailant himself. You may have to fight. Assume the shooter's intentions are lethal. He's there to injure and hurt as many people as possible. So remember that when you're engaging with this person, probably talking and trying to talk him down is not going to work. You're going to have to be prepared to do whatever it takes to neutralize the threat. You're going to be very aggressive. You're going to throw whatever you can at them. You're going to use whatever you can to your advantage to make sure that you neutralize the threat. Expect for the officers to be in an extremely heightened level of alertness. They're going to be responding to a very chaotic scene. They're going to be very aggressive, very demanding. Do not take this personally. It has to do with just the level of force that they have to use, because their primary job is to get there and to stop the killing. That is the one thing they're going to do. It is going to be very difficult, or it is very difficult for some people to understand, or to understand why officers will go past injured people and disregard them. And it's simply because they have to stop the killing before they go on to saving other lives. If they stop to save people and render aid to them, they then become a target. So the best advice I can give an individual or any person as far as dealing with the police once they respond to a scene such as this one is listen. Listen to everything they have to say. Listen to what they ask you to do. If you comply with everything that they're asking you to do and you give them as much information as you possibly can when they ask you, there's absolutely no reason why you end up being hurt by them. We do. I serve as the point of contact for the Geneva Police Department. Agencies, also businesses, citizen groups, churches, they're more than welcome to contact me at the Geneva Police Department. You can use the non-emergency number at 630-232-4736. You can also contact me via email. My email is erivera@geneva.il.us.